Guys, I have found evidence that Johnny Depp had actually warned us last week via his lawyers that the settlement with Amber Heard was incoming. Want to know more? Of course you do. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the news and pop culture stories of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yes, Johnny Depp, through his lawyers last week, had warned us all that a settlement with Amber Heard was incoming. Now, where am I getting this from? I will break it all down for you in a moment. Before I do so, though, a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, YouTube human reviewer, I see you lurking. I'm not going to say any trigger words or anything that's going to offend your ear holes. And to everyone else awesome enough to have clicked on this video, hi, welcome, how are you doing? If you love news and pop culture on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Do make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also, as well, for your consideration, you can always send me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. And let's jump into this, shall we? So, this is all stemming from last week when Johnny's lawyers did an interview with Court TV. Now, it was specifically Ben Chew, Camille Vasquez. You also had Jessica Myers and Samuel Monitz. Now, Court TV did a part 1 and a part 2. I'm focusing on part 2 of this interview. Now, I can't actually play the clips because they might ding me. However, this is what I can do instead. Here we go. So, around about the 21:06 mark, okay, this is it for me when it really starts getting interesting, because the first thing that they start doing, in my opinion, is shoot like warning shots over at Amber to basically turn around and say, you're doing this appeal? Fine. But guess what? You haven't got a cat in hell's chance. And here's a couple of little time codes right here for you. So you've got Camille turning around and saying at this point, look, you're the only one that's come forward. No one else has come forward against Johnny Depp to say that he's a monster. You've got all these other famous people, right, where women have come forward in numbers to turn around and say that they're monsters, right? But with Johnny Depp, he's been in this industry for decades, and you're the only one? Really? And as far as I'm concerned, Jessica, she actually really takes this home, this point, around about the 39-40 mark. And what she says here is, look, the evidence at the trial had convinced the jury and a lot of people that Johnny Depp isn't the monster that Amber was making him out to be. So really it's a case of you're not bringing anything new to the table in terms of the appeal. Cut your losses. You don't have a case, right? Okay. So, for me, they start off firing warning shots. Again, you don't have a case, Amber. What are you doing with this appeal, Larky? Right? Now, we go back to Camille. And this is around about the 40-minute mark. Now, Cheney, who the interviewer, asks, look, Amber is saying here that the judgment against her has a chilling effect on women. Essentially, you know, we know the score here, discouraging women of coming forward under the First Amendment because of backlash, and, you know, they could face defamation lawsuits, you know, with what she's going through, blah, 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 right? Okay, well, Camille here turns around and is like, look, I disagree. Totally disagree. The system worked. Thing is, though, she didn't get the outcome that she had worked for. She had a day in court, she had an opportunity to tell her truth, and the jury didn't believe her. You had your shot, Amber. It's done. It is done. Now, going on to the 40-30 mark, again, we're going to Jessica here. Cheney says, look, you know, you have said all along it's not been about the money for Johnny Depp. However, does he have the intention to collect the circa $8 million? Here we go. Jessica turns around and she says it was never about the money for Johnny. This was all about getting his name back. And no, there's no plan to pursue her or to try and squeeze any money out of her. That's not the goal. The goal was to never punish her. It was always to get his name back. Right there, guys. It was, no, we're not pursuing it. They knew they were never going to get the 8 million, right? And as far as I'm concerned, they were like, at that point, they were going through, in my opinion, the whole kind of like negotiations in the background for this settlement. Totally. And that's another clue as to, for me, Johnny Depp via his lawyers warning us all that guess what? Next week, there's a settlement coming, okay? Now, we go back to Camille, and this is around about the 41-minute mark. And she's asked, okay, what message do you hope that this trial sends to everyone? Okay. And she answers, look, it sends the message that words do matter and we only have our name that deserves to be protected. Again, saying, look, it's not about the reparations. It's not about the money. It's about the name, right? Again, another signal. He was never about collecting the money. No, he didn't care about the appeal. He just wanted to clear his name and just have it done. Another strong indication that they were settling. It was happening. It was happening. We go back to Camille again around about the 41-49 mark. And she's asked directly, you know, what's next for Johnny Depp, right? And she says, look, he's desperate to move on with his life. You know, you've got Hollywood vampires. He's interested in getting back to work, being surrounded by friends and family without this cloud hanging over him. Again, strong indication this settlement was coming. He didn't want to go ahead with this appeal. He didn't want it to drag on. This settlement was coming. He wanted to move on with his life, get back to work, be surrounded with friends and family, again, without this cloud hanging over him. And then we go to Ben Chew. Ho, ho, ho. This is around about the 42-45 mark. And he's asked, how and when will this end? Does it ever end? And he's saying, we hope it does one way or another. All things must end, even litigation. And if we can resolve it sooner, the better. I think he's achieved his goal. He's got his life back. He's got his reputation back. It wasn't about the money for him. Now, this is the thing, right, guys? Lawyers work for the client, not that the client works for the lawyers, right? My opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, Johnny had instructed these lawyers to get it over and done with sooner rather than later. As in, if we can avoid going to appeal, let's freaking do that and let's just settle and just get it over and done with and just end it and move on. And Ben Chew said it. Get it over and done with sooner rather than later. Guys, these were clear clues and indications, in my opinion, that last week Johnny Depp, via his lawyers, was warning us all. This appeal was never going to happen. It was never going to come to fruition. They were always going to settle before it happened. And he was warning us this settlement was coming sooner rather than later, right? And then if we go to the final bit you'll see here, Ben Chew, he's got a little bit of a smirky smirk going on here, a bit of a smile. And this is why. This is around about the 4303 mark, okay? And so he's asked by this particular host here, so if she doesn't talk about him again, and you don't pursue the 8 million, everyone walks away. You see, as he's asking this, he's smiling. It's like, I know something that you don't know. Like, do you know what I mean, right? And so, he, as you can see, he's smiling and he's saying, dude, you're a fantastic host, but also a fantastic mediator. He uses the word mediator. To me, for you to turn around and say you're a fantastic host and you're also a fantastic mediator means that, in my opinion, in Ben Chew's mind, they were already into mediation to try and arrange this settlement to take place, for this settlement to be agreed upon. And this smile says it all as far as I'm concerned. And he literally says, it sounds good. But you'll notice when you go onto this video at around about this time frame mark, he avoids answering the question directly. He dances around it and he gives, my opinion, a very standard politician's answer. So, guys, the link to that video will be in the description bar below. Watch it, listen to it for yourselves, and then come back here and make a comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? But as far as I'm concerned, Johnny Depp, via his lawyers last week, had warned us all that the appeal was never going to happen. They were settling, and it was going to happen soon. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, do make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe. Help us reach 100k. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories and whatevers. Also as well, if you appreciated this video and the amount of time it took for me to research all of this, then you can always consider sending me a super thanks, which is just below this video right here. And until the next time, you guys, laters.